as well. I need to charge my battery. Hang on. Here, let's see if it was a battery or if everything on this is just that over torqued. Everything's just that over torqued. Let's try this guy. There. Okay, if you're installing full assemblies with the springs already attached and everything, at this point you'll skip the next procedure that I'm going to do because I'm going to be compressing springs, and you would just start reinstalling the new springs or new struts at this point in time. If you want to, you can just fast forward past this next step, and then you'll be able to see the installation procedure with the torque specs and everything. Okay, your left and right strut are going to be very familiar or similar to each other. The way you're going to tell the difference is these little mounts on the bottom here. That'll tell you the difference on the two. Other than that, they're going to be very, very similar. So, again, we're on the passenger side, the right side. Here's the part number. Alright, so I was going to try this on my shop neighbor's strut compressed machine, but I couldn't get it set up on there right. It's just too small of a strut to fit on that. So I'm using McPherson strut compressors, which I am actually very comfortable using. I've used them many times. I had a really hard time setting them up on here, so this is the way I've got them set up, and I'm hoping that that's going to be enough to compress it down enough for me to get the top off and stuff. But this is where I'm at this point in time. This can be very dangerous, so if you go this route, just use caution and maybe do a little research on these before you use them for your first time. They can be very dangerous. Do not remove the bolt in the middle of this until you have this spring compressed down, otherwise it could all pop apart and possibly injure you very, very badly. So just a couple tips there. And since I had to put these on kind of cross a little different than normal, I'm going to mark the spring where the front of the strut is, so I know my exact lineup point. So I'll just make a mark right along there. That way I know right where that strut goes. So marked the top mount and the isolator down here. That way I've got, you know, a good straight shot of where I'm going at, and I know everything's lined up perfectly. so I'm starting to get movement on the spring. I'm gonna get just a little bit tighter. And the spring is even, it's not cockeyed or anything like that. Make sure it's nice and loose so it's not gonna pop. And then we'll go ahead and get this top mount bolt off here. It's got a little cover on it. Just pull that off. I'll find out what size that is. Alright, since I'm changing the strut, I'm just going to lock this so it doesn't spin on me. You don't want to do that on your new strut. You don't want to make any marks on there. Just pop that off. And then take your mount off. Just kind of keep all that together so it makes the reinstall easier. Those boots ripped, but I did tell him to get new isolators and mounts. He didn't want to. We're just doing the inserts for now. And this comes with a new nut. Okay, so kind of gonna get my, marks were right in the center there. So see, you got that mark there. You're gonna line that up basically right there. You can see it's got a notch too that it sits in. And then we'll slip this in. And you want to line up your spring to that notch. Make sure that isolator's sitting flush and you don't have anything pinched. Okay, and then once you got that one lined up, you just line up all the rest of your marks. Get the new top bolt. Probably not a good idea to put your head on top of that, just in case. And torque on these is usually about 40 foot-pounds, so that really should do just fine. If you do need to torque this, it's rather difficult because it just keeps spinning, so you want to give it a good couple hits with your gun. That'll get it tight enough. Just back these off slowly, be careful. Make sure your marks stay aligned. Then just double check, make sure your spring's all lined up everywhere it needs to be. Got your marks all aligned, and you're good to go. Don't tighten those all the way down yet. You want to have some movement to it. I like to start with the bottom bolt because the top one you can just push in once you have it lined up. You can use a jack to help you hold the bottom down. Sometimes they're a little tight at first. Okay, so once you get that bottom one in, the top one's a little easier because you can just push on it. Hang on. Just try that again. This one has a vibration dampener on it. This wasn't on the other side. When we put this back in and torque it down, we will torque it down to the same amount as the sway bar link. Maybe. I forgot how over torqued everything is on this. So set that aside for now. So if you get to the point where it's just spinning, this sway bar link is hooked up with a nut back here that you can put a wrench on. Some of them have a hex spot right here for a hex socket, and then you'll need to use a wrench and a hex. Here's what I'm talking about. You can see it's designed for a 17mm on the back side there. So you would just lock that into it and then get it out that way. So I believe I can do this without removing the CV shaft nut. Just, you don't want to pull on the shaft too much because you can actually pull it out. If you're not used to working with CV shafts, go ahead and pull the CV shaft nut off. It'll save you a big hassle in the end, but I'm used to working with these a lot, so I think I can pull it out enough to get the strut out without needing to take all that off. It'll save me a few minutes. Since I've been videoing, I've lost some time on this, so. So again, if you're doing it without pulling the CV shaft nut, be really careful how much you let this come out. So just slide it over to the side. Don't let it pop forward because you can pull on that CV shaft nut. I just remembered I didn't give you the part number for the left side. I put it together off camera so I could go a little quicker, but here's that part number. Don't tighten the top strut bolts until you have the vehicle on the ground, so it puts the pressure of the struts all the way up. And these are going to be, the top bolts are going to be really hard to torque, so I'll show you what to do. So these upper strut mount bolts, they call for 44 torque, 44 foot-pounds of torque. More than likely, you're not going to be able to fit a torque wrench in there. 44 foot-pounds is really about as tight as you can get it by hand. So hand tight, you know, give it a good jerk. Just don't go too far past hand tight. You don't want to break the bolt, of course. But you want to get it nice and snug. Once you feel it stop, give it an extra little push. It should be good there. The good thing about these, if you do hear a little rattle of them on your test drive, you can always just tighten them up a little bit more too.